Hello, hello, hello. I think we're getting live. Yes, it's looking good. Everything's looking healthy. So I just got a new webcam, as you could probably see from the last video. So hopefully the quality is good, but the quality for streaming should be a lot better. So that's hopeful. Just to usher in the new channel name, we are officially Haws Hodls. Sorry for any confusion. We've been mentioning this in previous videos, but finally we pulled the trigger, renamed the channel. Hopefully this makes more sense. I think this is better for, the channel, for, more associated to me. So there we go. What's going on, Jared? How's it going, man? How's it going? We're gonna look at the crypto market today, see where we're currently at, because obviously we talked about P-swap earlier. Super excited for that. So I put up some lines here to talk about with Bitcoin, because we've been talking about our line of resistance now, that 42,000 mark, and then our line of support, that 32,000. So we're going to be bouncing around this channel, and again, we can still go down. I know a lot of people got hopeful for last night, seeing everything pump, and now we're kind of going down a little bit. But it's all trends. I think it's all going to trade within this channel for a little bit. Even if we go down further, it's not going to be that big of a deal. But Dot, yeah, I got Dot. So I bought Dot back when it was 17 on the drop, and then yeah, it went down. Oh wow, you got all the way down there, eh? So you got right around in there. Beautiful entry for Dot. I ended up getting somewhere around 17. I think like 17.20 or something like that, like up in here. So obviously when you buy the dip, right, you don't expect it to go further dip down, but that dipped quite a bit. And then you look at like some of the other ones, like KSM was one. I hate that, like, I talk about KSM so much and said, oh, we'll never see under $400 KSM. Well, here we go, well under $400. But I couldn't believe like these wicks down here. But realistically, like, everything's recovering pretty well. Considering everything, if you look at like where we are now compared to where the market was back in February, we're basically back on par. So it's almost like a reset back to February. Yeah, around March, actually, if you look at the total crypto market cap. But in terms of like where it is right now, we're recovering. Again, we could still go a little bit lower, but yeah, that's a great entry, honestly. I think Polkadot's at least gonna hit 100 this cycle, whenever that, like, the market peak is in this cycle, whenever that is. Definitely 100 is absolutely within the cards. I'm making sure that video quality is all good. It's not choppy too much or anything. Looking at my stream health, everything looks good, but I'm getting a notification there on YouTube saying that it might be a little choppy. So let me know how the video quality is. I got all in on ADA when it was $1.70, .40. Yeah, exactly. It's all about DCA, right? And the fact that you have those prices, those high prices, now is your opportunity to lower that DCA and get in. So a 22 dot is much more appealing to you because you bought dot at $44, right? Or $40. Same thing with ADA, but if you look at ADA's been an absolute truck. Hold on, where is my ADA chart? Here we go. ADA has been a huge truck back up to that $1.50 line of support that we talked about with ADA. So I'm super impressed where ADA is right now compared to the rest of the crypto market, because even though it held pretty strong at the $2 mark during the crash, it ended up coming down and then held our $1.50 line of support that we were talking about. So crazy move with ADA. I'm super happy that it's at this price. Again, it can dip, but I'd say at this point, anything below $1.50 is probably a good buy for ADA at this point. So yeah, ADA has supported like a beast. Even if you look at so I know I haven't made a portfolio video update, but we have our portfolio, and basically the big thing with the portfolio that's held up is Cardano. Cardano's been basically what held the price up. So I think now, you saw in the other video that it was down to like $7,400. Now it's or $4,700. Now it's around $7,000. And basically that's from ADA lifting everything up. So ADA's been a really good move in terms of the portfolio, so that's been great. Any chips with this dip? Always, man. You got to get that chips. You know, now I want like nachos really bad. Oh god, nachos would be great. I already ate, so that's a tomorrow thing. So, but there's a lot of tokens that held, like Cell Token held at. I'm shocked that Cell Token is up to 680. Like that alone is impressive. Because Cell Token like struggled all through this, and you can see through the Bitcoin dip. Crypto dipped, but Cell Token basically just traded level. So it's been great. It's been a nice $6.50 stablecoin for me. So there we go. Cell Token's been absolutely great to me. In terms of Uni dropped. So Uni's again another good price, especially we know that ETH 2.0 is coming out. Uni 3.0 is live, I think. Don't quote me. I think so. But obviously the token can go higher. So definitely the market is still for buying. I think the rebound that we're seeing is nice today, but obviously we can still go lower. I wouldn't expect that these prices are set in stone at this point. I would just look at lowering your dollar cost average at this point. But I also picked up like BNB. I think I picked up BNB. Oh, you know what? I might have bought the drop, so I might have like picked up BNB at like $430. Still not a bad price, but like still, I could have waited a little bit and bought it cheaper. But you never know how deep that dip's gonna get. I got DOT at a good price. I'm happy with that. So I'm happy with some of the stuff that I picked up. But when you think it's gonna dip and not stop, then you're kind of in a bit of an issue. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Every time I've said KSM has been, won't go under 400, it's because of like everything about the chart, right? But obviously, Bitcoin and crypto crash, we're kind of at the mercy of it. What's going on, Jay? There we go. Have something to do. We're actually going to be looking through Reddit as well. I recognize the name Ryan Matta. I recognize the name, but I'm not quite sure exactly who that is. I'm sure if I like saw their face, I would know exactly. Yeah. See. Okay. Here's the thing. Here's my thing about this whole Bitcoin thing. All right. This is a massive shakeout. No matter how you cut it. This is all a massive shakeout, but there's a lot of things to note. Like one, we were pretty bullish if you look at like where Bitcoin was, right, compared to where we were back in 2017. We were kind of ahead of schedule, so it's fine that crypto retraces, but the retracement and the timing, it just all seemed way too perfect. Now that Goldman Sachs has actually said that cryptocurrency, digital assets, is an asset class, so it's obvious. It's so obvious that this was a huge shakeout to shake out people, retail investors, and people got scared. Not gonna lie, people got really scared. Seeing 50% of your portfolio wipe off in a night, that's a pretty scary thing. But at the end of the day, we all know what we hold. We know what's gonna happen with cryptocurrency in the long term. So why sell? Follow what the smart money does, right? Joe, as in Joe Rogan. I haven't watched a lot of his podcasts lately, but I heard something else extremely stupid that Joe Rogan said recently. So but I'll save those takes later. But if you're talking about somebody, Joe in crypto, I don't know. I don't know that anyone. Let's switch over. We'll go back to the charts as we get like questions about certain things and everything else. But I wanted to just go through Reddit because sometimes there's some nice stuff here that we get to talk about. One being China. So China is always a big narrative. I'm not gonna go click on the Bloomberg article because it's going to like want me to pay for anything. But when you talk about like China and banning crypto and everything, like how many times has China realistically banned crypto, right? How many times, like Turkey banned crypto, Russia banned crypto? It's always going to happen. And they are trying to push out their digital yuan, as it says here, right? So I don't think, as much as this sounds like FUD, and sure, it may affect the price in the short term, it's never really kept Bitcoin down. Son of a bitch. Joe Mama. God damn it. I fell right into that one too. I saw the comment one coming. I can't believe I just slipped right into that one. One general question: when you reach your targets and you tether stuff, so maybe you speak to the bull run. What do you do then? So there's a couple of things that you can do. So what I'll do is I'll probably have some into Tether, some into Pax Gold, because we all know that the USD isn't the stablest thing in the world right now. So holding a little bit of Pax Gold is going to be good for you in the long term. So I would probably hold a nice bag of Pax Gold and USDT sitting on probably BlockFi, gaining an interest. And then once prices get down to a place that I want to buy again, I'd probably shift that money over to Binance and start DCAing from there. So most likely just building up a bag slowly by taking profits a little bit at a time. A bag of USDT, a bag of gold, and also a bag of Bitcoin, because even when we saw before this dump, Bitcoin sank to around 30K, but altcoins still held pretty high up. So it might be advantageous at one point to actually take some altcoins that are really pumped, bring them into Bitcoin once Bitcoin's really dumped, because Bitcoin's still digital gold, right? So I'll usually have a mix of all three and DCA into projects from there. So the big thing about this, because it's like your first cycle, just take the time to really learn everything about it and really poise yourself so in the next bear market you can attack it, right? You really want to become numb to these market drops. It's amazing. I love how many people are here after the 52% drop, because that was one of the biggest drops that we've seen in crypto. And the fact that people are still here, still hodling, it's super bullish for us in the ecosystem. So as long as you just hold on tight and then come in aggressively in the bear markets, you're going to do really good for your future. So absolutely. But I wouldn't stress too much about China or anything else, giving general FUD. Let's where too long did not read, buddy. So diversify your portfolio. I agree with the idea of diversifying your portfolio. I think it's important, but I think it's also important if you look at here, let's bring up CoinGecko really quick, because CoinGecko does this really cool thing where they have, where is it? You can organize the tokens by the type. Let's see. Categories, right? So this is brand new, right? So you can go here and you can look at the categories of tokens. So we have exchange tokens. So this is stuff like BNB, Uniswap, decentralized exchanges. So again, Uniswap, Chainlink, Aave is another decentralized finance token. The BSC network. So that's anything that's running on BSC, including Pancake, Banana, everything like that. Meme tokens. So Shiba, Doge, Polkadot ecosystem, KSM, all the tokens that we've been talking about. You have governance, the Polygon ecosystem, yield farming. So if you ever want exposure to other areas, so you have here NFTs, right? You can go here and click and see all the NFT tokens. So right here, you'll have a list of the NFTs. Obviously, number one is Theta. Then you have Chills, Engine, Decentraland. So if you want exposure into other things, you can diversify your portfolio here. I wouldn't advise picking winners or marrying a certain cryptocurrency. Like, for example, if I really like Theta, well, does that mean that you shouldn't invest in Engine? No, you can have both, right? Would you just invest in Microsoft and not Apple, right? So just use that analogy. There's a lot of good projects here that you can get into. Privacy tokens, asset-backed tokens. So this things like, United States dollar vaults, gold vaults. Then we have oracles, so the things like Chainlinks, Kylins of the world kind of thing. Storage, so Filecoin, BitTorrent. So there's a bunch of different things that you can go through. So if you want different exposures into different things like gaming, sports, betting, there is betting down here. Insurance is going to be a big thing with DeFi. Insurance alone is just a huge, massive industry. So I'd absolutely be getting into some of that. Then we have gambling, BPro, and all the like. So There's tons of diversifying that you can do within the market. But obviously invest in some good, solid projects that you should be into. The stream is lagging. Okay. It could be that the stream is lagging. So let me see here if I can make some changes. Let's see. I don't know if I'm able to change this while we're streaming, but we're going to figure it out. Okay, testing 1 2 3. Let's see if the stream is a little bit better there. Do I think we'll see a normal bear market because of the because a lot of the YouTubers are saying the bear market. So I think if we do see a bear market, it's going to be less exaggerated, right? Like, okay, here we go. I'll actually bring this out. So this is a video that I'm working on. I'm not. Okay. Hopefully we are coming back on. That's the hope here. No. Okay, so we are looking excellent on my health. Let's go back here. Okay, testing. Is everything working okay? Okay, perfect. I just brought down the bit rate. Okay, so I'll go back. So I haven't gotten around to making this video yet, but I wanted to discuss what would happen if this is actually the market peak, right? So if we actually hit the market peak here, and this, we are going into the bear market. If that's the case, we're most certainly going further down, and the reason for that is because every single time that we have gone down from a market peak, we've gone down roughly 82% entirely to the bottom of the bear market. Now, if we don't go down, that is basically just indicative, telling us that we're not, at that bear cycle yet. But theoretically, if we were going into a bear market right now, we would have to go down a little bit further, or possibly go down a little bit further. Now, it could be that the future bull and bear markets are going to be less exaggerated over time. But the reason why I would say that this shouldn't be that way, if we are going into the bear market, because at that point, market cycle theory is out of the books, because this market cycle is actually shorter than the last market cycle if this is the market peak, which tells me, one, that this isn't the market peak. What does that tell me for future market peaks if this isn't the market peak? It does tell me that, eventually, so if we do continue our way up eventually and go back up, we're going to have to crash at some point, but we're going to crash significantly less. So we'll have much more of a gain held. Now, there's going to be institutional money and everything else, and you're going to eventually see cryptocurrency be dictated, one, by the halvening. Obviously, the halvening is going to be a big part of it, but eventually balance sheets, when people are rebalancing their budgets and everything else. So there's going to be a lot of other things that are going to dictate what the market does. But yeah, with institutional money, we're going to see less pumps and less dumps, or less exaggerated pumps and dumps. So it's important to recognize that over time, as Bitcoin and cryptocurrency matures as an asset class, we're going to see these things be a little bit calmer, right? So it's not going to be nearly as bad. Just making sure everything's okay with the stream now. Quality is a-okay. I'm seeing excellent. I don't have any notifications, no warning signs. Everything seems fine. So, but let me know if there are any issues. Yeah, so in general, I agree with you that in the future, and most likely this cycle, we'll see a significant less drop than we have before. So that 82% drop that we usually see from market peak to market bottom. So just to measure that out, just to show you. So for example, and I know I have 82 written on the screen, but just so you can see, here you go, 82.3, and then these ones were basically the same. So from market peak to the market bottom is roughly 80%. And then tier, I think, was 79%. So over time, it's actually increased market peak to market bottom, but not by a lot. And again, this asset class is so new that it's, we don't have a lot of information. This thing's been trading since 2008, right? So yeah, not a long time has passed for this stuff. But yeah, in the future it'll calm down. Did the last stream pop off? What do you mean pop off? I don't know. Do you mean like the last like the live stream? This should have just updated. I don't know. I don't know exactly how YouTube does it. I was hoping that it just like moved everyone over, but it could not have. So okay, there's a lot of people, and there is a chance, right? I'm not saying there isn't a chance. So let's go back to the daily here, and we can zoom into Bitcoin and talk about this. There is some people saying that we could have a V-shaped recovery and just come out of this, break through the 42, break past the 52, and then continue making all-time highs by September. Is that realistic? Yeah, I mean, there is a chance. I'm not going to say there isn't, but I would say right now it's too early to say. We would absolutely need Bitcoin within the next month or so to be over 42,000, if not 52,000, and definitely trucking it up to the 100K mark by the end of the market cycle in September, if that's what they think. But if Bitcoin does trade within this channel here for an extended period of time and then picks it up later on, we could be thinking about a market peak sometime in 2022. So it could reignite the bull market in a later period of time. So I right now it's so early to say. I don't know which way it's going to go. I would say if I were to put money on it and guess, and I wouldn't say that this is a strong guess, but I'd probably say that we're not going to close this market cycle in September of 2021. I definitely think this will probably bleed into the next year, which also goes back to our theory that we just talked about market cycles extending, market cycles being a little bit less exaggerated over time, because in that case, we'll have longer market cycles in the future, right? So we can expect longer, more stable market cycles. What's going on, Andrew? Yeah, celebrating the new channel name, Haws, Hodls, and how about Banana Coin? I got him into Banana Coin, and Banana Coin's great, man. I need to buy some. Yeah, no, Banana Coin, all of that stuff with Ape Swap, Pancake Swap. Like I have Pancake up right now. So over the last couple of days, because I just took all my cake that I've been earning, bought BNB because of the dump, restaked that BNB and cake, and now I am earning cake. So over the last 2 to 3 days, I've earned 3 cake, which is $54 on Pancake Swap. The reason why I'm so excited for this is because of how bullish this DEX has been, how many people use this DEX, and seeing the market opportunity open up when we have the P-Swap DEX. Well, we already have the P-Swap DEX. When we have Flare and everything else, there's a lot of other things that are going to open up to blow what Pancake Swap has out of the water. So I'm super excited because of how well Pancake Swap is done. I think we're at the literal drop in the bucket in terms of DeFi. And a big thing to remember, and I'm going to make a video about this. Let me find DeFi here. But back in 2018, after the market dip, back in 2018, we saw a DeFi bull run, right? 2020, sorry. Is that? No. Here we go. 2018. So in 2018, we saw a bull market basically for DeFi. We had Chainlink go crazy. This was outside of the actual crypto bull market. I think we're going to see something similar if Bitcoin keeps trading at this level, because people are going to realize that they can make a yield by staking their tokens as liquidity on certain decentralized exchanges. Then they're going to earn, and so I think if anything, this whole crypto kind of downturn for a little bit is really good for DeFi and DeFi services. So, specifically, there's what's that one wallet? I can't remember what the wallet was. Dior. Someone's got to help me. There's a wallet that is being created for Cardano, specifically for the DeFi and everything else. I think that's the most bullish, but the problem is a lot of this stuff is all waiting for Alonso, right? So a lot of this stuff can't really do much of their development until we have Alonso. And that's been the big holdup for Cardano. One of the biggest criticisms for Cardano that you're going to hear is that Cardano moves slow, which is exactly kind of how it should be, right? Because it's a peer-reviewed process. They really methodically make sure that the updates are going to be critically good for the system and net positive for the system. So things are going to take a little bit longer to get onto the system, unfortunately. And that does mean that we've been waiting quite a while for Alonso. But once we do have Alonso, that's going to be hugely bullish for Cardano. We're going to have a bunch of other Cardano apps. Right now, in terms of DeFi directly, we have Sunday Swap that I will probably be playing on. So here's Sunday Swap here. So they're getting ready for the Cardano launch. So I'll most likely be on Sunday Swap. They'll be opening up a stake pool, I believe, in Daedalus, where you can stake your ADA and earn Sunday. If you want to be on Sunday Swap, you're probably going to want Sunday. So this is probably like the most immediate target that I have in my line of sights in terms of DeFi. But there's a lot of bullish stuff coming for Cardano. So if you have Cardano, yeah, be excited because there's some sweet things coming. Giro, that's it. Giro, that's exactly it. Yeah. The Giro wallet looks super slick, super good. I've looked into the team a little bit. Their website's a really good presentation. I think as long as the UI for the wallet is slick, I think they'll be fine. The biggest thing is UI. So, this year, it really depends on what cryptocurrency does. I don't think that's out of the cards, even if we do go on a downturn in terms of Bitcoin. Does that mean that the altcoins aren't going to make at least a small leg up? And really, a $6 Cardano isn't that far away. But we have predicted around an $8 Cardano, I think, by the end of the market cycle. So definitely by 2022, I think $8 is in the cards. By the end of 2021, I think this really just depends on like what the rest of the crypto market does. But anything's possible. But I'm going to bet that if Bitcoin is down, then most other cryptocurrencies aren't going to run. So I think Bitcoin's still going to be the linchpin regardless. I think we have our dominance back up at 41.9%, which is still not like all-time high, but it's still pretty evident that when Bitcoin drops, the crypto market goes along with it. So there's not all that much that we can do about that, unfortunately. But that I'd say that price target is pretty in the cards, whether or not it's 2021 or sometime in 2022. In August, I'd probably say it's out of the cards. Yeah, I'd absolutely say it's out of the cards, because if you look at it, we have we have basically just a few months to make that. I think for that to happen, to get a $6 Cardano for August, before September, basically, let's even give it to September. I think we're going to need some sort of V-shaped recovery in terms of crypto to make that price target, because that's right around it's about like that zone. Oh no, $6, about that zone right there. Let's see. So that's a far way. That's a far way to go if Bitcoin is still down. So it's only 288%. So realistically, is it a realistic move? Yes. But I don't know. You know what? That's a really good question. But it really depends on if cryptocurrencies can move regardless of what Bitcoin's doing. So we could see, if we see something like a decoupling from Bitcoin, and Bitcoin doesn't really hold us down that much, and we go through like a mini kind of cycle for altcoins. I mean, that's possible. But I'm not going to be like putting money down and saying, yeah, for sure, $6 Cardano by August. I think that could be a little bit lofty, but anything is possible. I could always be wrong, but I really wouldn't be. Oh yeah, Bitcoin looks bullish, and really trading sideways, I wouldn't say is like it's a bearish trend within the bull market, right? We're in the bull part of the market cycle, regardless of what's happening in the near term, right? So even though this looks bad, this trend looks really bad, that's all it is. It's a trend, and eventually this trend is going to reverse whether it takes a little bit or it doesn't. Eventually it's going to reverse, and we're going to continue back into the market cycle. I believe this. I don't believe we're at the market peak. Like I said, when I showed this entire chart here, and I'll bring it up again just to make my point. Looking at this would have to be the market peak. This would have to be the market peak. We would have to be able to drop more if this was the market peak, right? It doesn't seem like this is the market peak. Nothing is telling us that this is the market peak. So I see this as just a coordinated shakeout, and it's going to put Bitcoin and everything into a little bit of a bearish trend. But I don't think the bull market is over. Now, extended, that's a much different deal. So could we go until 2022? Sure, absolutely. I don't think anything big is going to happen in 2021 personally, but end of year 2021 we could see something huge. The bigger that, you know what, that is a good point. The bigger the dumps, the bigger the pumps. So, you know, and again, going back to the other possibility of like it could be a V-shaped recovery, which, you know, I can't say it can't be. We can still, at this point, shoot up. And if we do shoot up as a V-shaped recovery for Bitcoin and everything else, yeah, absolutely. Everything's still in the cards, and we could probably still put our bank on end of year market peak. But I'm still thinking it's not that easy. But I could be wrong. So let's see what else is on crypto Reddit. So GME is planning on selling their NFTs. Oh, this was interesting. The Ouch Charlie video sold for $750K. And I think this is cool. I think all the things with NFTs, people that say NFTs are a bubble don't really know what NFTs are, because all an NFT is tokenizing something. It's validating ownership of an item, whether that be a digital item or a physical item. So NFTs being a bubble doesn't make sense. Maybe a particular piece of art can be a bubble. That makes sense. But the NFT itself, no. NFT is the technology. And I think it's going to be great. And just think about like how great of an investment Hollow Charizard was, right? So people love original stuff, and people love to be able to validate that they own the original. That's a hugely important thing to a lot of people. So I think NFTs are going to have a beautiful future in the long term, especially when you talk about like music royalties, artists, and everything else. Yeah, there's a lot that NFTs can do. The fourth largest Bitcoin whale just bought 988 Bitcoins at $39,212. That's a steal. That is a steal. But yeah, this is it, guys. See, Goldman Sachs has already deemed cryptocurrency, digital assets, as its own asset class. You see whales buying Bitcoin, right? There's nothing in here saying that the crypto market is dead, and nothing in here that says Bitcoin is going down. The energy cost, it's all a narrative. It's all a big shakeout narrative. There is no amount of renewable energy in this world that can fuel Bitcoin. That does not exist. Solar power is not at that level. Our biggest bottleneck here is storing energy. It's not actually creating the energy. If we wanted to create efficient energy, we would just go nuclear. It makes the most sense. But in terms of this, follow the smart money. Don't sell. Don't capitulate. Just buy Bitcoin, buy cryptocurrency, because everything at the end of the day, it's all looking good. And a $39,000 Bitcoin is going to look cheap when you're staring down a $150,000 Bitcoin. So I definitely think that's absolutely where we're going. Can we talk about XRP? Such a polarizing token, and I'm tempted to get in. So I'm a huge XRP bull, and I will talk about this because I am an XRP bull, and screw anyone who hates it. And I know a lot of people hate it, and I know it's not everyone's favorite token, but there's a lot of things to know about XRP. One, we know that the SEC case is more or less frivolous. It's definitely going in terms of the side of Ripple. I don't think Ripple's going to lose that case at this point. Whether or not Brad and Chris are going to be charged with some sort of trading violation, that's a whole separate thing. But under even the SEC admits that they're not looking at making XRP out in the ecosystem as security. They just want to take a piece of their pie from the XRP that was done in funding rounds. This was way back in 2012, 2011. So I don't think, I think Ripple is good in terms of the case. And I think XRP will be deemed at least not a security, hopefully a currency, just like the DOJ has deemed it to be. But, you know, the fact of the matter is, when you look at XRP in comparison to other tokens, it's not at its all-time high. It hasn't pumped absurdly as much as other tokens. And we know back in other bull runs, it has pumped the hardest. There's a lot of FUD around XRP. I guess I understand it, but really, I'd say most of the FUD is people not fully understanding how the token's governed, how the escrow works, how the validators are chosen, or any of that. But take all that away for a second, right? Look at it this way. When you're looking at the global financial structure, and look at the United States specifically, would you trust the United States global financial structures? So this is stuff like stocks, so the NASDAQ, all the other stock exchanges, Visa, MasterCard, all these massive financial behemoths, all the banks and everything else. Are you going to trust them with a blockchain that's run by Vitalik Buterin? Or are you going to trust it with a blockchain that has a company helping it along, not representing the blockchain itself, but helping along with their RippleNet software? It's an American company. They've been working with legislators since day one, and they're about to win this lawsuit and achieve clarity. So what are you going to choose? I think it's the obvious answer is XRP is eventually going to onboard a lot of these legacy systems in terms of the United States. The IMF has hinted about it. There's a lot of conspiracy stuff that goes along with XRP. I don't subscribe to all that $10,000 XRP down the road. I think people need to be realistic with their price targets. But realistically, when you're looking at regulations, these things don't move quick. And Ripple has already been doing the groundwork to be regulated with XRP. So I think that's going to poise XRP in a position where they can dramatically increase market cap and be utilized globally as as we transition legacy finance into the blockchain, because I think that's where we're going. So, but I know it's not everyone's favorite token. It is what it is. It's 30% of my portfolio. So what do I think of Aave? Aave is a great platform. I would absolutely be picking up the token. I want to be picking up some Aave myself, especially at this price. I think the platform is amazing. Like, I went on the platform, like, the rates aren't that great. Like, I can find other rates. I can make more money. But it's so easy to use, and that is going to be key. People are going to pick easy to use over better APY 9 times out of 10. I guaranteed. If it's hard, if it takes a lot to get onto the platform, and then there's another platform that's maybe giving you a little less APY, but it's super easy to use, yeah, you're going to use that one. So I want to buy more Aave. It's the same reason why, like, I don't have an Apple phone, but I have Apple stock, right? Like, those are the reasons. Even though I don't use Aave, I still would buy it. Litecoin, no. I think there's better ROIs than Litecoin. I don't see I don't see what's so great about Litecoin, so I don't know. For a one coin, what you would invest one coin for $1,000? If you're just doing one coin, it depends on like what you have already. Like, I mean, you could be safe and just buy Bitcoin, right? That's probably the less sexy answer that you could get. If you're just throwing $1,000, I had to pick one, I'd probably make it like between DOT and Cardano. I'm a little bit more of a DOT bull, but there's a lot of people that like my videos that are way more ADA bulls, so I'd probably get fought on for that. But I think pick your poison. Those are probably going to be the safest bets to go into. And then obviously you can risk, like you can put $1,000 into something that's totally risky, but you think it could go further. So what price? Oh, okay, I see. But there's a lot of tokens that actually dropped. One token that dropped pretty deep was Harmony 1, And Harmony One is a steal at this price, I tell you. Harmony One, they have their decks out. What's their decks called? I can't even remember. But I'd say Harmony One at this price is pretty good. This is just above my DCA. So that took a bit of a hit, but actually it held up pretty good considering everything else, considering the overall dump. But Harmony One's definitely one of those projects that you want to add into your bags. It's going to definitely do a lot of great things in the future, especially when you just look at the statistics. It's faster than Ethereum, it's faster than Polkadot, unfortunately. But yeah, I like Harmony One. I have a small bag. I don't have a big bag. My biggest issue with cryptocurrency is that there's just so goddamn much to own, right? There's not enough money in the world, but it is what it is. Yeah, the Matic ecosystem's done pretty good. Matic actually held pretty good on everything. Where is it now? So it is up right now, $1.92. So still looking pretty bullish for Matic. I think Layer 2 for Ethereum is going to do really well. There's a lot of FUD with Layer 2 too. If anyone's worried about that, I wouldn't be. Even Vitalik Buterin has come out and said that Layer 2 is going to be an integral part of Ethereum 2.0. So I really, really wouldn't be concerned if you're like super bullish on Matic. You can still be bullish. Don't worry about all the all the ETH 2.0 FUD. It literally is just that. It's just FUD to get you out of your tokens. Our market cap is up actually. It's at 1.6 trillion. So CoinGecko's a little off. Still 1.6 trillion at this point. But in terms of what I picked up over the weekend, like I picked up KSM, I picked up Polkadot, I picked up BNB, and I picked up Zor and PSwap. So I went on to PSwap on Saturday. We had a live stream and went and picked some more up. Yeah, Matic. So to what I understand, because I haven't used the system, but to what I understand, it basically takes away the gas fees or makes them considerably cheaper. And it also is like super quick. I haven't used it, so I don't know. I know a few people that are pretty bullish on the system. It's going to go places. I'm not like the biggest Ethereum guy in the world, right? Like I don't DCA Ethereum. I don't buy Ethereum coins like I buy Polkadot coins, right? And I'm probably going to buy way more Cardano coins than I buy ETH coins. So, I own Ethereum. I own a little bit of Uniswap. I think that's enough for me. I think for me, my direction goes to XRP, Flare, Polkadot, Cardano, and VeChain, and a slew of other altcoins from down in there. But I'm sure, like my issues, just like everyone else, I'm sure the big thing is that there's too many tokens to just buy, right? Like how do you buy all these tokens possibly? So. But one big thing that we discussed, we had that portfolio series that we're still working on. We're currently at $7,000 right now. So we went back up to about $7,000. We dipped to, I want to say it was like $4,700 or something. So like, I mean, if you're in altcoins, you've made back a good amount. I've made back a lot. In terms of my main portfolio, I'm back to like where I was in terms of my Bitcoin evaluation. And a little bit less on Ethereum. So Ethereum's beating out my portfolio just slightly right now. But for a little bit there before the crash, I was outpacing both, which was nice to see. That was hard for me to finally get done, but it finally happened. And I think that's one of the biggest things that you want to do in this market in terms of your portfolio, is as long as you're outpacing Bitcoin and outpacing Ethereum. So in terms of like if you have everything tracked in Blockfolio and just switch the price to Bitcoin and you see your Bitcoins going up or your Ethereum price is going up, and then you're doing a good thing. As long as you can beat Ethereum and beat Bitcoin, that's going to be your whole goal in this market. It's the same thing as if you were in the stock market, right? You want to beat out the S&P 500 and you want to beat out the Dow Jones if you can. So that's the big thing. If you can beat out Bitcoin and if you can beat out Ethereum, you're doing pretty well. It can be. I would say it's hard to manage a lot of different coins, especially when you have a lot of different platforms. You really got to be strategic about what you have, right? But I know, like, if I had to add up everything, I have to at least have like 25 to 30 different wallets and platforms, and at least 80% of those are actually holding crypto. How much crypto, I don't know. Some could be holding a couple $100, some could be holding a lot more. It really just depends on like what that wallet does, right? So it's hard because you have so many tokens and you don't usually keep them all in one place. How do you keep track of all your earnings and your rewards? Like, I'm staking Polkadot, I'm staking KSM, I'm also earning Pancake on Pancake Swap, I'm earning P Swap on the PokeSwap DEX. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much else going on. So there's a lot. I do hold a little bit of RSR. I want a lot more. Actually, this price is a pretty good price for RSR. I made a video about RSR. I think it's going to be a great blockchain. I think what it's striving to do in terms of actually creating a stable money that basically collapsing governments can run to have refuge on, and it's all backed by assets. I think that's going to be huge. I'm Lebanese, so I've seen it in my home country. Well, I haven't physically seen it. I'm Canadian, but I've seen it happen in my home country where the dollar was basically worth nothing. Same thing with Venezuela, right? So having some sort of out on a blockchain is going to be incredible for a lot of countries. So I think RSR, what they're doing is pretty good, and I like investing in blockchains, especially when they have the good of humanity and the global economy forthright, which is a big reason why I dump so much money into Cardano and why I'm so bullish on the Cardano system. I think it's doing a lot of similar things, and maybe not like exactly in terms of the services that they're providing, but it's doing a lot of similar things in terms of the humanitarian side and the good of our financial structure, not so much the same actual blockchain stuff. For the most part, Reddit is basically AIDS. Yeah, that's not wrong. There are 13 viewers. Go ahead and give me a like, guys. Give me a like. Let's see here. Mark Cuban invests in Ethereum Polygon. So here's another thing. Mark Cuban has been big in the space in terms of coming into cryptocurrency. He's been a big advocate for NFTs. He's maybe not understood a lot of good things, but at the same time, Mark Cuban he's a straight shooter. Even when he was talking with Charles Hoskinson, he makes a good point where you really have to explain things like really quick, especially to get people's interest and to get buy-in. Does that mean that all projects that don't go through Mark Cuban aren't going to be great? No, absolutely not. At the end of the day, in terms of finance and everything else, nobody actually knows what they're talking about, including Mark Cuban. But we can all make best guesses based on our experiences, right? But it's good to follow what they're doing and what all this smart money is doing, where people are investing their money, because I do think the Polygon system is going to be a good blockchain down the road. It's making a lot of good strides to improve what Ethereum has right now in terms of layer 2. And when ETH 2.0 comes out, I think it's just going to be all the more bullish. So that's definitely good to do. In terms of Sunday Swap, we've have Sunday Swap open actually. So I'm waiting for it. As soon as I can earn Sunday on, I believe you just stake it through Daedalus and you earn Sunday through the stake pool. I don't know exactly if that's going to be how it works. I got to read into it exactly. But I will be on Sunday Swap day 1. Most likely I'll be live streaming it just like I did with PokeSwap. And yeah, we'll absolutely be playing around with some Sunday Swap, providing liquidity and earning some of that sweet Sunday token. So absolutely. I think in general DeFi is the next leg up, right? So when we see things like P Swap, when we see things like Sunday Swap, just I know the silly name can kind of get to people. Like some people don't get Pancake Swap because it's called Pancake Swap. Well, in 2 days, my Pancake Swap has made me like $53 or 3 cake, right? So like you can shit on it all you want. It's still making a yield regardless of what silly name that they come up with. It's still blockchain tech. It's still a decentralized exchange, and it's still not a centralized exchange. So something that somebody can just stop you from trading something because market manipulation, right? So I'm bullish on like most Cardano dApps that are going to be coming out, but this is most likely the DEX that I'll start with. I think it's the first DEX that's actually out. But I think this is the big thing that people need to keep on their watch list is this ISO. That way they can get Sunday tokens as soon as they're available. So just keep that in mind. Keep this on the back burner. But as soon as I learn more about how to get the tokens and how to get into the stake pool, I'll definitely be making videos on that as well. So subscribe absolutely to watch for when that comes out. But yeah, I'm bullish long term in terms of where that's gonna go. Ledger declares that SafeMoon and Shiba are hit coins. I don't know what hit coins means, but okay. Any Shiba holders? I had somebody legitimately ask me on my TFSA video if they could put Shiba in their TFSA, which is like an IRA for United States people. But okay, it is what it is. Banks, not Bitcoin, in Australia laundered. See, this is the thing that we talk about, right? When we talk about the dollar and laundering money, and like there was a huge narrative when Bitcoin first came out that the FBI was basically, afraid that this money could go untraced, and you wouldn't be able to find out like who's selling what on the deep web and everything. It was all manufactured FUD. In fact, they actually found a lot of people that were selling a lot of bad things on the deep web because of Bitcoin. So we obviously know that Bitcoin is much more traceable than United States dollar, or in this case, the Australian dollar. $387 million for a Latin American drug cartel. And this is what a lot of banks are being used for. We saw that big HSBC stuff back in 2019, just before 2020, I believe. It was like 11 or $18 billion, some insane number that was found to have been laundered over time. So just nutty stuff. That's what happens with fiat currency. Completely untraced money. What is I don't understand that. So SafeMoon is a hit. What's that mean? Is that supposed to be bad? I don't know. I apparently I got to look into that and find out exactly what Ledger or what SafeMoon would have done. Destroyed Ledger. Okay, I'll look into that. If you have any links to Twitter tweets or whatever, just link them. Yeah, this is right. So this big thing. Oh man, the one thing that I'm hearing about are all the liquidations. Then we hear this narrative about leverage trading, right? Now, if you know what leverage trading is, you know that shorting a market is a net positive as long as there's no manipulation behind the shorts. Now, that's not always the case, right? There's a lot of times there's manipulation behind the shorts. But shorting the market is good when there's legitimate problems. Michael Burry did it to the housing market back in 2008 before the crash because he saw that the subprime mortgage loans were being bundled up and sold as AAA when they were actually just shit. So he shorted it because he called bullshit. He called fraud. And that's basically why shorting is allowed in the market and why it should be there. To call out things like fraud. To make sure to short things that shouldn't be pumping. To make sure to short bubbles that are actually bubbles. So leverage is actually a very powerful tool to use, and especially if you're day trading and swing trading, you can easily use like a 3x 4x leverage and make a little bit more profit when you know the trends, right? When you're being very safe about it. That being said, when there's market manipulation behind everything, that's when shorting becomes an issue. So I think regulations around shorting needs to happen in terms of like making sure that shorting positions are always declared, always posted. That way everyone can see them. That way any hedge funds that are overly shorting a business like GME can quickly be, longed out, right? So I see no problem with the whole Wall Street bets versus the hedge funds. I think that was a great way for the little man, the private investor, to push back on the big hedge funds. And I think it just showed a lot of problems where hedge funds can bully a company and bully a stock and just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it down. And then when they're ready to let it go up, when they're ready to let go of that beach ball and let it go back up, then they're going long, and then they're profiting on the long too. So they're making money on the short, they're making money on the long. It's all a heap of bullshit. So But actually, that's something that I wanted to do, and I might do it, is I might open up a leverage account again. And I might possibly do a leveraging series. Just a quick little, fun little leverage series. So we'll see if we do something like that in the future. Let's see here. One big thing. So a friend of mine just bought into Ethereum. And he actually also bought Ethereum right around... Ooh, he would have had to buy like $1,800 because he bought it for $2,100 Canadian. So around $1,800, I'm going to guess, give or take, American. So that's a sweet price when you consider where Ethereum was. But when you look at Ethereum still is pretty pumped past its January, February mark, right? So a lot of tokens retrace back to February, whereas Ethereum really only just retraced back to April, basically. So it's still holding on a good amount. If we do go through that V shape, it could be that, Ethereum goes up to that 10K that we've been talking about. So that's always possible for Ethereum. Yeah, we'll consider something. I think there'd be a little bit of interest. See, here's my thing about leverage. It's very important that people don't go crazy with it, but using a little bit of leverage and learning how to leverage trade will actually teach you a lot about like market trends, how things move, how the market sways. Like if you look at the market, it's not going to consistently go up. It's eventually going to go down. And it doesn't go down for just one bar. It goes down for a couple bars, then goes back up, then goes down, then goes back. It's all a trend, right? It's a slow moving wave, in and out, in and out. Some of them are more violent than others, and some of them, pump really hard. But identifying that trend and identifying how the chart moves is actually pretty important. And when you are leverage trading and learning how to leverage trade, it really gives you a good perspective on understanding how charts actually move, and how candlesticks work and everything else. Like if you don't fully understand candles, right? Like for example, I don't know how many TA pros we have in here, but if you look at the big green, the girth of the green, and then the small little lines above it, basically what that indicates is the close, essentially. So if we look at this candle, it closed at this price, but it wicked all the way up during this day up to this price, right? So the small line is how far it went up through that day, but the green line is the trading area that it closed at, right? So whatever end of day went, then it went on to the next candle. So every time the new day starts, it jumps and starts a new candle. So that's what that is. So when you see a small little line, that's often called a wick, and then the actual girth of it is called a candle. So but when you understand things like how the trends work, when to identify the RSI, using Bollinger Bands, even when you're leverage trading, even just swing trading on a daily basis, these are all good tools to get familiar with, especially when you're just getting started with TA. I personally think a little bit of TA, you don't have to be an expert, but just understanding it a little bit is going to do you wonders when you're navigating this market, and then again when you're taking profits, because then you're going to be able to identify when things are more, okay, this is a shakeout rather than a crash, right? So you're able to identify certain things and when we bottomed out. So there's a lot of good tools that can come from doing a little bit of leverage. Now that being said, if I do a leverage trading series, it's going to start with like $100 or something super small, and go from there. Maybe build it up to $1,000 eventually, and then maybe build that up to $10,000 and go from there. I would never recommend you trade with a majority of your hodl bag. I wouldn't recommend you trade with any of your hodl bag. Your hodl bag should be for hodling. But hey, if you have, say, $100,000 in your hodl bag and you want to, put $1,000 into leverage trading and just learn leverage trading, there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people say that you can trade with about 1% of your portfolio. And that is often what people do. But a lot of people, here's my advice though. A lot of people have gambling problems, right? I'm even susceptible a little bit to it. I played RuneScape. I went to the stake arena, the duel arena, and all that jazz. As long as you are able to keep everything in check, then you can do leverage. But if you know that you're somebody that goes overboard, if you're somebody that can't go to casinos because you'll empty out your bank account, leverage trading is absolutely not for you. So just be aware of that. But if you want to learn a little bit of the markets, it can be a useful tool. So I'll look at a couple more articles here, but we'll go ahead and start wrapping it up here because it's getting a little late. But I'll answer any questions if you guys got any questions in the chat. We'll see what's happened this week here. That's any big news this week. PK all day, man. That's right. Actually, I was a shit PKer, man. I was more of a PVMer, but you know, it is what it is. I'm a big noob when it comes to RuneScape. Yeah, looks like this. It's all the same. It's all the same bullshit that we've been hearing. All this Chinese FUD and everything else. Bank of America, computer hacks. I think one big thing that people need to recognize, especially going into now, and I think this is where we'll leave it off, is that, you know, if you're long-term crypto, none of this should matter. But realistically, when you look at how coordinated things were, Elon Musk making his tweet, capitulating the market, you know, MSNBC talking about it every day, you know, the Indeed shitpost tweet from Elon Musk going further down, Bitcoin, everyone starting capitulating Bitcoin, getting a little scared, and then it finally dumping all the way down to the 29,000 range. Or wicking down to 30,000 basically. You know, this is a big shakeout. It's all a big media shakeout. Try to get you to sell your Bitcoin. Try to get you to sell all your crypto. So just don't sell your crypto. That's it. Hodl and be rich, right? Hodl, ignore what it does in the near term. Don't worry about it. Know that you're invested in good, solid assets, right? You're in Bitcoin, you're in Ethereum, you're in Polkadot, you're in Cardano. You're in all these great tokens. You maybe have a little bit of Shiba on the side. I'm not going to judge you for it, but you know, you're going to do good in the late game. What's going on, Piero? You're missing the end. I'm sorry, buddy. How's it going, buddy? Where is Cake going? It's at such a low price. It was at lower, right? Let's take a look at the Cake chart. Bear with me here. I think it's going to do good, mainly because you see where it's going in terms of the decentralized exchange, and you are getting a big price dip from this because that was basically at the start of April. But even in this dip, it got down to like $9. I couldn't believe seeing Cake down at that price. That was insane, to be honest. But you know, I still say it's a buy. I think all of the decentralized exchanges. So if you check out the video I did today about the PSwap token, I talk about Cake, I talk about Banana over on ApeSwap, I talk about Sushi and Uni, and then PSwap. I think the decentralized exchange tokens are absolutely something that you should be picking up. So whether that is, you know, Cake, Banana, PSwap, Sushi, Uni, right? So all these big decentralized exchanges, I'd absolutely be picking up those tokens. Yeah. Yeah, $10 is a great price. I saw that and I was like, geez, I didn't buy any because I just bought BNB, which was equally as good. All I ended up doing is I bought BNB, unstaked my Cake, and then provided it as liquidity with the rest of my Cake and BNB cycling around there. So, you know, and then now that's earning me Cake on top of everything. So, you know, I'll have my Cake back in no time. But that's it for me, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Hopefully everyone's doing good. I'm glad that the stream went okay. So, you know, new webcam and everything else. And hopefully everyone's enjoying the new channel name. Like, comment, subscribe, everyone. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys most likely some point tomorrow. All right. See you, everyone.